coming second in the English prize has always been the cattle prod of my life. It's just like, you know, it's great, you know. Damn it!
Hey everyone, this is Joe from Loudwire, and we've got something really special for you today. I'm sitting next to Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson. That's him. We're here to talk about the Mandre project. It's an album, it's a comic that will eventually form a graphic novel once all 12 issues have come out there. Bruce, this is a pretty massive project that you've undertaken. What other storytellers kind of captured your mind at an early age in music? So what other ones captured your imagination and really, you know, set you on the path of doing this yourself?
So, artists and lyrics and things like that, and the storytelling thing. So ones that really told big long stories. A guy called Peter Hamill, Van de Graaff Generator.
Least we could do is wave to each other.
Least we can do is wave to each other, and H2HE and all the other ones, and Porn Hearts, which was, I used to play to that album to death. I mean, it's only got 3 tracks on it. One track is the entirety of one side, and then there's another 2 long songs, and they were absolutely calculated to have your, you know, your current, if you were in pursuit of a girlfriend, you know, she usually, by the time you've been about 10 minutes into A Plague of Light Housekeepers, she usually jumped out the window, you know, I mean, you know. Would you catch the final words of mine? But, yeah, so songs like that, Ian Anderson, Aqualung was a big go-to. Sitting on the mountain stool. What a great record, great lyrics, and all of those lyrics. He was a great storyteller with his lyrics, and he had a kind of a folky tradition thing going on in the background, you know. And folk songs tell stories. I mean, folk songs are really, they're the original, you know, rock and roll storytellers.
Before there was prog rock, there was folk music.
Before there was prog rock, there was folk music, and folk music was before that, when there was no recordings of anything. It was passed down from one bunch of people to the other, oral tradition. So all that storytelling goes way back. You know, those were the people that were influencing me. Arthur Brown, Alice Cooper, because Alice was
the full package when it comes to storytelling.
He was, and what I love about Alice, I mean, you know, obviously apart from just him being who he is that he is absolutely open about who set him on that path, and Arthur Brown. And
you wrote about it in your book too.
Arthur Brown. But Arthur and he is like, Arthur was doing all this stuff before anybody was doing it. And there was another guy in England called, it wasn't so much a storyteller, but he was like a kind of a showman, called Screaming Lord Sutch. Screaming Lord Sutch used to come on stage, carried on stage in a coffin, and would come up, which was back in the late 50s, early 60s, you know, was people went, oh my God, that's outrageous, coming up from the dead, you know, and he would just scream a lot and everything. So on Rain on the Graves, we had so much fun because when Mysterious entered his keyboards, there was this crazy discordant keyboard on the ba-da-da-da-da-da-ba. I went, oh my God, that's fun. He's channeling Screaming Lord Sutch, you know. Boom, let's got to go in there, you know, because it had all that creepy organ stuff that these people used to do back then. It sounds great, you know. So storytelling with musical textures is one thing. Storytelling with words is another thing, and it's hopefully you can get them so they all mesh together in a way that tickles your brain and your ears equally. You know.
Now, you've done so much over your life. Writing for this Mandre project comic, graphic novel that'll probably turn into once the series is complete.
It will, no. Every 4 episodes, the idea is we're going to do every 4 episodes is one book. So it's a 3-book.
A trilogy.
That's it. 3 books. Yeah. That'd be a trilogy then, yeah.
It's hard to keep track of. You got so much stuff that you do,
Yeah.
but you're so proficient in so many things, as everybody knows. Whether it's flying, writing, even going back to Lord Iffy boat race, you've been writing for a really long time.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that we know you for being.
It was the only thing I was good at school.
Was writing.
Yeah, it was the only thing I was good at.
Yeah, we're struggling with the math a little bit right now.
Yeah,
right?
well, I think when I was at like, I must have been like 11 or 12 or something. We had a school for, we had a prize for, like, you know, the best writing, something else like that. It was the something English prize, and I came second. But I was second, and I was just like, coming second in the English prize has always been the cattle prod of my life. It's just like, you know, it's great, you know. Damn it!
Where do you start with a story like this for the Mandrake project?
Well, it evolves. So the evolution of everything really kind of kicked off in 2014 when we were writing with the intention of doing a follow-up to Tyranny of Souls. So I came up with a very basic story, and I based it on the song Accident of Birth.
Love that one.
Yeah. So Accident of Birth, a guy is separated from his brother at birth. One's in hell, the other one survives. He's got survivor's guilt. He's angry at God. He's like, why'd you do this to me? Why me? Why didn't he survive? And all that stuff. And I thought, what if there was a technology that could bring his brother back? Okay, so I created two characters, Dr. Necropolis and Professor Lazarus. I'd really gone down the rabbit hole with, in particular, Necropolis, and started to create a life for him. Why is he so twisted? Why is he so pissed off?
Backstory.
The backstory, how old is he? Okay, and then when I started creating the backstory, I came to a very, very dark place, and I went, this is really, really twisted.
So I know in the comic you open up, you talk about the gates of Horizon, and there's a river that sounds a lot like it's the River of No Return off Tyranny of Souls. So I've been wondering how far back all of this stuff goes.
It goes back a long way. But the thing is, with the comic, you can drop stuff in like that. But because a lot of the themes on my records all kind of, they're roots, and they all eventually end up in the tree. Resurrection Men was also a song that was written fairly specifically about it, because who are the Resurrection Men? Well, they are Necropolis and Lazarus. So there's a couple of tunes that are fairly specific, were related back then. You've got Shadow of the Gods as well, although
really
that's
emotional song.
a very emotional song, written for the project that never happened, the Three Tremors. So there's a bit when it gets kind of heavy, riffy bit, about 2/3 of the way through the song.
Yeah, it really picks up.
And it really picks up the pace, and you get the real kind of like Priest vibes from the riff.
The rockin' Priest.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, the vocals a bit reminiscent of Rob, because that's who it was written for. Then you have a song like Sonata, which is 25 years old.
Which there's a prequel Mandrake too that comes with the Afterglow of Ragnarok.
Oh no,
single.
no, that was a treatment for a video. So what happened with what happened with the video for Afterglow of Ragnarok? So I thought that was the video we could not afford to shoot, because I wrote a treatment for a video, because obviously Afterglow was going to be the first track. I thought, well, unfortunately, Afterglow of Ragnarok is nothing whatsoever to do with the comic. And the other unfortunate thing is I do not want people imagining that, you know, this album is going to be a bunch of people with Viking horns and bearskins all running around, you know. And I'm just thinking, oh no, and it is the first track, so how do I get out of that? So I wrote, so basically it's a trip. Necropolis, who's the character in the song, who's the song in the video, sorry. Necropolis swigs his mandrake potion, and don't do this at home, folks, because it will kill you, probably. It's nasty stuff. But it's a very powerful hallucinogenic as well. So he basically goes on a trip, And in the trip, he imagines himself, you know, he's on the boat at the end of the world, and he sees the mountain blow up. He goes see the shaman. The shaman says that, you know, you're all going to burn, everything's gone. But the song's quite optimistic because the story of Ragnarok, it gets as far as, in most of the Marvel movies, it gets as far as the end of the world. But actually, it goes on beyond that because it all starts again.
So it's the beginning.
It's exactly, it starts again. So the afterglow of Ragnarok becomes the shadow of the dawn. From the sun, from the night, the sun will rise again, you know. So it's, you know, it's a sort of hopeful type thing at the end. So anyway, I wrote a treatment for a video, and then I looked at the treatment, and then there's no way we can afford to shoot this video. We've got caves and shamans and boats and stuff and video effects and no. I'll make it into a comic.